Okay, Colin, first off, Blake Siebenaler, I know that you kind of have seen his progress and seen what he's been able to do. What impresses you most about him, and what is going to make him a good professional hockey player down the road?
Well, I think the biggest, positive he has is he's such a tremendous skater. He can skate away from pressure, which allows him to, if he makes a mistake, he can get back quickly and cover for himself. So, being an offensive player also on the back end. I'm not sure who made him switch to playing D, but I know when Chinner used to coach him and some other guys in town, he played a forward position. But now since switching to defense, having that ability to make an outlet pass and have a little bit of offensive flair on the back end is hard to come by. And a good friend once told me it's hard to find a good defenseman. So when you do, you make sure you keep him. So he's definitely a positive on that side too.
Seems like talking to everybody that's been around him, work ethic is a big plus, a big positive for him. Is that what you saw?
Well, I mean, I worked him a little bit as a youngster, and then I want to say when he was probably 14, he left to go to Detroit, and he's still there now training. So he's at his billet family that he stayed with as a AAA player in training, and that commitment. And I explained to a lot of kids here in Fort Wayne that want more or say they want more, and I asked them how many times they've been on spring break. Oh, I went to here, I went there. I said, I never been on spring break in my life. Why? Because I was playing in the playoffs at that time. So even as a youngster. And Blake was doing the same thing. So those are some sacrifices, and that goes hand in hand with the work ethic, and it's obviously he had the commitment to do that.
For you, first season, I imagine in, probably 30-plus years that you didn't put on a sweater. It was all coaching this year.
Yeah.
What was that changing of the hats like for you?
I think probably the hardest part was, just not being able to have that, that buddy system with the players. I believe you have to have a line with the guys, and you kind of need to keep an arm's length away, I guess, so to speak. So that was probably the hardest part, but still being involved in the game and being around the guys and being an assistant coach, it was, I could kind of play a little bit into that side. So, but as far as playing, I was ready. Even if I would have had a great year last year, I think just my body was telling me it was time. So I loved it. The guys in the junior team when I played in the OHL used to jab me a little bit for play blue 42 or 59 back or whatever, because I've always been a coach and a teacher, and it was just I had to get the kid out of me to get on with the next step of life.
What's the plan for you going forward? Are you going to be back in Kalamazoo for the next season? Have you determined what it is going forward for you?
Yeah, I signed another one-year contract in Kalamazoo, so that I guess ends in a couple days and starts July 1st. So I'm excited to be back with them, and we'll just keep the process going. We had a great group last year, and it was a tough first round loss, but we'll stay the course, and we're ready to work again.
Final question. What did you learn as a coach about the game of hockey, being able to just focus on the coaching side of it for a year, as opposed to, I know you had split duties at times with Al. What did you learn about the game of hockey, and how did that make you a better coach, just being able to kind of step back and be in just a full-time coaching role?
Oh, it was interesting as a way to, deliver the information, and I believe that you need to be clear, concise or concrete. When you do that, there can't be any gray area, and it needs to be quick. People don't want to hear you go on and on and on, and I would have a tendency to do that at times. So I definitely learned that quickly. And also, everyone's wired differently. Really, at the professional level, you're teaching a lot, but you're really managing personalities. And some guys need to be pumped up, some guys need to be beaten down, and some guys need to be their friend. And I think the most important thing, you have to show that you care. And we have that in Kalamazoo, and our players responded and worked hard for us. So when we ask them to do things hard, and we're hard on them, they respond positively. And I definitely realized it was a give and take, and those are areas that you realize what buttons to push, and when you go too far, you have to turn around and tell them the next day that you're sorry and you probably shouldn't have went there. And when you do that, guys respect you for it.
Anything else you'd like to add?
No, it's great. I appreciate you coming out, and I wish obviously the Blake and the Siebenaler family. I know there's a clan of them traveling down to the draft, so I had a small piece in his journey, and I wish him all the best. And if he's back in town, he knows he can join the Thursday night skate, so I'll make sure I give him a couple hacks and whacks if he does.